This is the Makiwara. A lot of people don't know what it is and want to know what it is. A lot of people know what it is but don't have one and need drills and exercises to do with it. And a lot of people have them and use them and run out of ideas for techniques to practice on it. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things that I do. This is just a basic punch. Two basic methods are to punch normally, and the way I bring my hand back is just sort of in rhythm with the way I'm doing it. The second method is to bring the hand back faster than I'm pushing it out. So the punch is here, and I pull the hand back. Second addition we make to it is we drop our shuto or knife hand on the top here. Second thing, as you're doing a basic punch that I'd like you to think about is you don't want to condition your knuckles in just one direction. So a little thing that I do is, as I'm punching, as we do in kata, we punch, it looks like we're punching in one direction, but the way our body is moving, the angle that the hand is moving in, is going to result in the target getting hit differently. Okay? First angle is as I'm hitting, I'm dropping. Okay? And this is dragging the skin of my knuckle up. Okay? As my hand's going down, the skin on my knuckles is going up. So it's conditioning it to withstand that pressure. Next, the punch comes up. Okay? So as I'm punching, my body rises. Next, my punch is going to come in. Okay? So as I'm punching here, I tighten up my body and turn my hips slightly in and drag my arm with it. And that's conditioning my knuckles side to side. Okay? And then I do the same thing going this way. So I'm hitting here. The reason you want to practice hitting like that is because if you hit a real target at an angle that you're not ready for, it can actually break your knuckle or it can rip the callus off of your hands. So what we want to do is get a nice well-rounded conditioned hand that's prepared in 360 degrees. So depending on how I hit it, whether it's like this or like this, here, coming up. My favorite technique is the shoken or ipponken, the one knuckle strike. Okay? It's not hard. All you're doing is putting the hand in this position. I'm pinching my index finger in between my middle finger and my thumb and squeezing very tight and then making contact with the tip of the knuckle here. The mistake some people make is, as we discussed earlier, they don't condition the knuckle in more than one direction. Okay? So if you notice, I punch with my fist horizontal, I punch with my fist vertical, and I'm also hitting at different angles to condition that knuckle and make myself a well-rounded weapon here. The hardest part to get through, of course, is that hitting with this knuckle, it takes a little while to condition it. It does hurt, and until you get a little bit of conditioning with the callus of your index knuckle, it's a little bit of a bear to go through. But after a while, you're able to hit it pretty hard. But again, I have to change the angle at which I'm hitting it to make sure that I develop a well-rounded knuckle. Okay? naturally you're going to repeat everything on both sides. After I've punched 50 to 75 times pretty hard, then I back it off to about half speed just to get the conditioning going for maybe another 200 strikes. Okay? And this is an exercise that I'll go through once or twice a day. Hand. Bring the left in. In kicking the Makiwara, the top target where you punch can be used with multiple kicks, roundhouse kicks, front kicks, so on and so forth. But the most beneficial place to put this pad or any pad on the Makiwara is actually down here, because you're not practicing necessarily speed and power and technique that you're going to use in kata. You're actually trying to condition the parts of your body that are going to impact a hard surface. Okay? So, with that in mind, I'm going to kick this portion of the target with my primary foot weapon, which is the ball of my foot here. And I'm going to kick hard enough so that I feel it, but not so hard that I break my Makiwara. And I'm going to do this 50, 100 times on each foot. And again, I'm not necessarily worried about the form of my technique right this second. I'm just trying to condition my foot so that when it hits something, it's the target that breaks, not my foot. Another technique, not unique to Okinawan Karate, but a real staple in Okinawan Karate technique, is the toe kick. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is condition the tip of my toe, and this is also conditioning the joint between my toe and my foot to withstand this actual technique. What you want to do is you want to start off just making contact. You'll get a little bit of a callus on the tip of your toe. And you would just want to, if you have to start with 10 or 15 of these, that's fine. But you want to eventually run it up to 50 to 100 times on each foot until eventually you're kicking it pretty hard with your toe. On the way to the target, I get my foot in position and then make contact. And eventually, that method becomes extremely effective to soft targets on the body. The Makiwara is one of the most underrated training tools that can exist in a dojo. Aside from actual kata practice and self-defense application, you have to have these conditioning exercises as well as your Hojo Undo exercises, which are your strength-building techniques, your conditioning exercises. You have to have a Makiwara or something to hit so that when you are practicing your techniques, you know what it feels like to have something harder than your body coming back at you. And when you develop technique that actually becomes stronger than the tool, that builds a great amount of confidence in your technique.